So, you might be wondering, why on earth has she picked a day when it is pouring with rain to make her video? But one of the big things that I've realised is when I stop focusing on the things that I can't control, actually I can feel myself visibly and physically relaxing. And I think, you know what, it's a rainy day today. Take what you can from it. And look at this, it's absolutely beautiful. It doesn't matter if it's raining, I am surrounded by this gorgeous countryside, and I think, you know what? Control the controllables. What can I do about it? Put on a coat. So, I've been asked to do a video on what motivates us. What motivates me is probably, I'll be brutally honest, it's when I'm on the journey to school in the morning. Jamie Hickson, what motivates you?
When I'm older, I want to go skydiving.
Cool! What motivates you?
Doing sport.
Whoa, crazy kid. So there you go. You've heard from my family, one of my sons,
and me,
my loving husband. The question that actually what inspires me is by trying to ignite the dreams in others. So whether I'm invited into a corporate business, into a school, actually by just telling and sharing my stories and hopefully creating that mindset to think, you know what, we can achieve whatever we want to do. It's just a case of actually putting it into action. And you know, as they always say, you've got to start somewhere. So Craig, how are you going to start on your dream of drumming? You know, when I think back to people who have had a huge impact in my life, one of the big people I think for me would be actually a squadron boss that I was with in the University Air Squadron. And he went out of his way. He spotted talent in me that perhaps other people had not, putting his neck on the line for me to actually push me beyond what were perhaps my natural limits. And I think when I now go into businesses, one of the big things for me is to actually ask the question of all those people in the audience to say, you know, are you the person that can inspire those others in your team, within your organisation, to push them to achieve things that are perhaps just on the edge of their limits? Because if you are, well then you're the person that's going to inspire the next generation. So, how lucky am I that this is part of my daily routine? I'm not so lucky when the cows get up, but I have to say, I might be a fast jet pilot, but I'm a little bit scared when they come after you. We're on our way down from the hill now, it's the end of our morning, and look at that, this fantastic view over Winchester with this mist hanging over it. Yeah, and there's a certain other thing hanging over it as well. But, you know, I just think it's really funny, isn't it? I meant to be flying today, but the weather is absolutely shocking. Low cloud, there's no way I'm going to be getting airborne, I don't think, today. And I was just thinking to myself, you know, what is the day going to hold? And I've just had a phone call from a radio station asking me what are the benefits of motivational speaking and how can it raise our spirits. So in about half an hour's time, I'm going live out on Radio Solent, which I'm very looking forward to. So there we have it. You've seen the start of my day. Often fully immersed in children, getting ready, getting out to school. And then I fortunately have that moment of reflection when I get to spend a little bit of time with my husband. So what is important to me? To me, it is having that quality time. If my husband's not around, I go for a walk by myself and it gives me a moment to reflect, to think about my day. I generally don't take my phone with me, although obviously this morning I did, so I could make a little movie for you. But actually not being interrupted, it gives you that that quiet, that reflective period just to put everything into perspective for the day. And that's what's important for me. So you heard a little bit about what inspired me in my early career choices, what pushed me to go the extra limits to become one of the country's first Royal Air Force Tornado GR4 pilots. But you know, what inspires me now? What is it that I get out of bed to do on a daily basis? Well, since leaving the RAF, I retrained as a human factors facilitator, which basically looks at taking all of our lessons from aviation and looking at how teams work really well together, leadership aspects, decision making under pressure, threat and error management. And I use those as a vehicle now to go into businesses and look at the key areas that actually read across throughout any business. Now you're probably thinking, well, that's very relevant to safety critical businesses, perhaps petrochemical, nuclear, healthcare. what's it got to do with ours? But when a mistake is made in any organisation, it doesn't matter what the business is. Yes, in those safety critical ones, it can lead to a loss of life. So obviously that's going to be very, very high on the agenda to look at those. But in any business, when a mistake is made, it can lead to loss of hundreds, perhaps millions of pounds. It can lead to reputation loss and perhaps to bankruptcy. So if you can try and change the mindset of an organisation to talk about mistakes that are made, that errors that are made, and not just brush them under the carpet. I'm not talking about celebrating them enormously, but creating a culture whereby people can learn from their mistakes, then actually we can create a culture that is a learning environment